Welcome back to another episode of the She Rises Studios podcast. Today we have a short episode and we want to talk a little bit about a few topics regarding trust. We want to talk about storytelling and what really started and kicked it all off. So Hannah, I'm going to refer this to you. This was kind of your baby, your dream. You asked me one day in Las Vegas, and when we were talking about our nonprofit that you started, and you said you wanted to help women. What made you feel that storytelling was the avenue to go, and how did you create trust and a community?
Well, I think the storytelling aspect came from my own voice being silenced. I didn't really get to start speaking up for myself till way later in life, and once I did, and I started talking to other individuals, I realized that they had stories too, and that no one was willing to listen. And so when we were sitting there talking, in our whiteboard session, and I was telling you kind of what I was envisioning, which I always say this, I don't think we really knew it was going to turn into what it did, but it came from just my own personal story. When we tell our story, I think it's freeing. I think that it helps us connect to other individuals. I think there's so many people out there that can really connect with who we are as individuals.
So if it's okay with you, for those who are new to the community and they don't know you from the past, meaning like before She Rises or like the beginning of She Rises, you did kind of stop talking about certain parts. I don't know if you're willing to share some of it, but you do have a story, and it is something that inspired all of She Rises Studios.
Are you talking about like from my childhood story or diagnosis or
whatever
all the in between?
Whatever you felt comfortable sharing.
I guess it's public knowledge anyway, right? So, I grew up in a very different family dynamic than most. I was always kind of told to be quiet. I went through things that most people will never live through. And there were a lot of good things, but there was also a lot of things that would make a person want to quit life. And so I just feel like my entire life, all I've done is fight. And so I lost one, and just when I thought I had won, I married my first love, and a few years into the marriage, I got diagnosed with a terminal illness, and I've been living with it ever since, and it's been so hard, but in between, I've become a grandmother several times. I have a new bonus baby. Well, she's not a baby anymore.
Big girl now.
Yeah, it's like, here I was, empty nester, so to speak, and then boom. Wow, that's the story. We could do a whole nother podcast on that. But I think it just, I always would ask, like, why me? Like, why is this happening? There has to be something better. And I think I was at the end of my rope when we were, in Vegas working on the nonprofit, and that came from the diagnosis. And we were sitting there. There was still like this tug of, I'm not even supposed to just be doing this nonprofit. This isn't the end of my story. And so when we talked about, creating an Instagram page, doing a podcast, doing all of those things, all I could picture were women who were just filling up arenas telling their stories. Like, it's this vision that I've had since I was a kid. It's so crazy, where we're all in this big space together, and we're talking and we're getting along and we're sharing, and there's no judging, there's no shaming, there's no blaming. Like, we're just being us, we're telling our story. And someone is saying, me too. Mm-hmm. I can relate to that. Oh my gosh, you too, like all of those things. And so being able to finally be comfortable to talk about my past, to talk about my diagnosis, and all the in-betweens took some time. You know, it's a lot of personal work that has zero to do with business. And then you add the business layer, and woo, that's real fun.
I know.
So, I mean, I probably in the last even 24 hours have had some of the most deepest conversations about my own life, not even just She Rises, but like just me, that are so heavy. And I'm going to write a book about it.
You're going to write several books. Can you tell us a little bit about each one of those?
One of the books that I've been sitting on for a long time. And I think, truth be told, I get so excited to watch other people tell their stories that I forget to finish my own. And so I have all these books that are, you know, require a few little things, a couple more chapters, and then like they're ready. You Are Not the Limit. I have one called Bloom, because that's all I've been doing is blooming. And that one talks about, you know, coming straight from, well, I consider dirt, you know, very literal. Like I have one called The Things That She Didn't Say. And those are the things that I was afraid to say, or I was told, you can't say that. You should never let anyone know that. I have books that will talk about finance, single mother. There's so many. And the problem is, I don't know which one to do first. Which one is going to be the one that's going to hit the shelf first?
This podcast is brought to you by Upgraded Mindset Z. Have you ever felt like you're capable of more, but something keeps holding you back from becoming the person you're meant to be? At Upgraded Mindset Z, transformation starts with one powerful truth. Lasting change begins in the mind. Founded by Keisha Woods, Upgraded Mindset Z helps women navigate self-development, self-discovery, and clarity so that they can confidently lead themselves in life, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Through coaching, community, media, and empowering conversations, women are given the tools and support they need to break through limiting beliefs, reclaim their voice, and create success that aligns with who they truly are. Because growth isn't about becoming someone else. It's about aligning who you are with who you are becoming. If you're ready to rise without self-sacrifice, strengthen your self-leadership, and step into your next level with confidence, Upgraded Mindset Z is here to support your journey. Visit upgradedmindsetz.life to connect, join the free women's community, and explore empowering resources, podcasts, and opportunities for growth. Remember, the journey is necessary. This podcast is brought to you by Cooper the Crafty Cat. Now, before we continue, Cooper insists on a brief interruption. My name is Cooper, and unlike most cats, I decided to write a book instead of spending all day napping in a sunbeam. In Cooper the Crafty Cat, you'll follow my adventures from shelter cat to household supervisor, professional people trainer, poolside inspector, and expert evaluator of cat sitters. It's a collection of humorous, heartwarming stories told from my point of view, with plenty of wit, sass, and feline wisdom along the way. Whether you're a cat lover, an animal rescue supporter, or simply someone who enjoys a good laugh, this book is sure to leave you smiling. You can order Cooper the Crafty Cat now on Amazon and discover why readers are falling in love with my clever adventures and unique perspective on life. After all, every household deserves a crafty cat. Visit Amazon today and search for Cooper the Crafty Cat by Anita Comiskey. And remember, meow out.
Transparently, I've been so focused on building what we're building together. And now I'm ready to pump the brakes a little bit for myself, which we have talked about, so that I can lean into finishing these books and putting them out there, because that's my story.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to it, including myself, including you. I'm personally excited to learn about things that maybe you never even told me, because I just have a curious brain. Like I just genuinely want to know. Plus, you're my mom, so I want to know where this came from. Where there's so much overlap in who we are, personality-wise. We're so different, but yet so alike. Our hearts are so alike. It's kind of crazy, and there's a lot of stories in there that people are going to be shocked, wowed, saddened, excited. Like there's every possible emotion
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Every possible version.
It's like, when, I don't know, for those who have never written a book or even a chapter, I encourage it because, I've lived with journals. I have a box of journals, probably a few. I have a hope chest. I have a few boxes here. Yes, I have a few boxes. I am a journal fanatic, but I really didn't know until I got in my 30s and late 30s that journaling was helping me. And sometimes, when I look at my old journals, or I have these little prayer box, I have all kinds of weird stuff. You already know this. Yes. One day we'll open up the hope chest and you'll really see your mom's Pandora's box. But sometimes they're just these one word statements, like how I'm feeling at that moment. Some are really happy. Some are sad. Some are anger. Some are just whoa, we won't talk about them because they would have to be censored. But all of these things. And so when the very first book we wrote together, I started looking through those. And then I was like, okay, so that's who I was then, but who am I now? And I still don't know if I know who I really am yet. Is that weird to say? Did I just out myself?
No, I think that comes in different phases. You might have known yourself at 30 and then felt lost again at 31 and then found yourself again at 35, and you keep finding yourself because things happen and it makes us lose ourselves.
In the last year, I've lost any kind of connection to who I was even a year ago. My youngest daughter, Sophia, she always says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm deciding what I'm going to be when I grow up." And she's like, "Really, Mom? Aren't you going to be 54? And I'm like, "No, maybe 52, pipe down." But part of me isn't joking. I think that's the beauty of becoming and evolving. Who I was 4 decades ago is definitely not who I am today.
Yeah.
And who I was a year ago, I'm different.
Same here.
So are you?
Yeah, I was going to say same here. Honestly, I was working on a chapter for a book, and it took a lot out of me today, I think, writing that, because it was a lot of self-reflection and realizing. One of the questions that came up was, when did you realize you lost yourself? And I was like, oh man, that's hard. It was 2012 and we're in 2026. And then the next question was, when did you find yourself? 2026. So that's a lot of years that I've felt disconnected and unattached from my own self. So when you're seeing what you're talking about, I can totally relate. And it's a part of life, and I'm able to accept things as they are in the moments. And that's one of the strengths that I've been grateful enough to have. Not everybody has that. And when you do feel lost throughout it and you kind of don't feel like you have someone, it can turn into a lot of anxiety and panic, feeling alone, all of the things. So I totally understand. I sympathize with individuals who have felt alone. And that's why I do my best to really listen. Listening to individuals makes them feel heard, so then they feel comfortable explaining and expanding on their thoughts. And when you can give someone that space, it brings down their guards and lets them actually cope with stuff and learn about themselves. So I try to invite people in any chapter that I write, that I hope that whatever I write is actually inspiring themselves to invite change into their lives, because it's important.
It is. You have a very beautiful gift of being able to listen and communicate and write. I think that's why so many are drawn to you. It's really interesting because you're the introvert, but yet you're the one who speaks the most, which is interesting. And I'm the extrovert, but I'm the recluse. And I have to really ponder before I'll share. My hamster wheel is going even right now. And so it's the opposites, it's interesting, the dynamics there, but
that's why we work well together.
I think you're right. There's this harmony that happens between us, and that's why we can always do what we do off the cuff, because we understand it and it matters, and so storytelling, back to the initial question, storytelling and trust. I think when you reveal who you really are and people see that, that is when they know, okay, this person is the real deal. This person cares.
Exactly.
And so all of that comes from sharing your story. All of that comes from community. And that's why I wanted to open She Rises Studios.
And to kind of expand on that a little bit, or to bring a different perspective, the additional thing I add to it is drowning out the noise. Like there's so much noise. There's so many people that have their opinions and perspectives, and they want to they project what they feel onto us often. They make a lot of assumptions, all the things.
Yeah.
And I always tell my mom, I said, just ignore it, because we know who we are and what we're doing, and we'll just keep on with the mission. Just keep doing the everyday, and they're going to see for themselves. So instead of allowing individuals to stop us because we're letting them actually get to our core, let's keep the trust with who we are and what we do. And we know that. We know how we feel about each other. We know how we think, how we work, and they can't break that. And I think that that's kind of what people admire about us, is that we don't let the hard stuff break us.
Girl.
She's like, girl.
I think we talked about this on the last podcast, how many times if we were like, that's it, we're done. Well, this is over. And then we're like, you good? You okay?
Yeah, we check back in. We're like, yeah, so we're good now?
So we're good? Are we okay now? Like, I think that to the outside, maybe people think like you and I are just like, Tinkerbell and pixie dust, but we do butt heads. We are mother-daughter, and she is bossy. And so I'm bossy.
Oh yeah.
And so there it's not always like, rays of sunshine. So we do have to work through things, and here's another fun fact. I just heard this again. I don't remember who told me, but somebody just told me, you guys are going to eventually get tired of each other. Oh, wow. And I was like, how do you get tired of?
I want to know who said that.
I can't tell you.
Oh my God.
I can't tell you. I remember.
She forgot.
I remember now. And I was like, well, number one, I can't get, I guess I could get tired of my kids, but not like that, where I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to quit you today.
Yeah.
I don't see that. We've talked about my exit too. I mean, this is not something that I see myself all head in long term, meaning, and you know what I mean by this. This is a topic we all need to talk about, is our exits, not from the planet, but from our businesses, like other things. What do I want to do when I grow up?
Yeah.
Like I want to travel. There's
want to
lots
have a
of
life
things.
outside of She Rises Studios.
Yes.
And you're allowed to.
But I need to go and like really figure out some things. And so
exploration.
Yeah. I realized today, I don't like eggs.
Oh my God.
And I've been eating eggs forever.
You're hilarious. Not did I ever think you'd say that.
I don't know. Just the older you get, maybe it's an epiphany that, as you get older, you start to realize things that really just you don't want to deal with. And I'm also finding those things out in business too, where I have transparently said, I am going to step back a little bit and let you take the lead. Right. But then I'm right behind you. Like, did you this? Yeah. What about that?
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. So it's
behind the scenes moment. Hannah called out, and then she was still working. She does not stop working.
I tried.
I know.
I tried. But the point is, life and business isn't perfect. Share your story and build trust, because that's what we did. And that's how we became what we are today. And I can't even say how many times you and I have received thank yous. Thank you for making my dream come true. Thank you for helping me share my story. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for giving me the courage. It's never been transactional. It's always been relational. And I think that's why we are growing just daily. And we've always been very hands-on.
Well, here's to another, 5-10 years. We'll say cheers now. Cheers of She Rises Studios. And thank you all so much for listening to another episode of the She Rises Studios podcast.
Yeah.